Hi guys, it's Nova here. Welcome to a very special 4th episode of
That's my opinion!
Okay, so in this episode, I wanted to talk a little bit more about one topic in particular. So I'm just going to be talking about this topic and only this topic. I want to get into some of the drama with Kim Petras and the fact that she seems to be working an awful lot with a producer named Dr. Luke. Now, I just want to rewind a little bit and explain some of the significance about why this might be controversial. So back in 2014, Kesha sued her producer Dr. Luke for a whole string of reasons, including emotional abuse, sexual abuse. It was a whole load of stuff. And she claimed that she could no longer work with him because he had sexually abused her, emotionally abused her over several years, given her an eating disorder, all of this stuff. And she was tied in with a contract where she still had to record another album with him. And this court case went on for so fucking long that eventually in 2016 it was dropped. Kesha said that she was just so emotionally done with it all. She wasn't getting anywhere, nobody seemed to believe her, so she just went ahead and recorded that album with him on his label. And I think, as far as I know now, she's free of him. She's fulfilled her contract and now she's done. A lot of people claim that Kesha was lying about this. A lot of people said that Kesha wished to terminate her contract and made up this story so she could kind of dissolve the contract early and make herself out to be such an amazing, heroic character in the process and demonize Dr. Luke. I never believed that. I think it was always so sincere whenever Kesha spoke about this. Obviously we will never know the truth, but I never ever doubted her. I will just say I find it very suspicious that the judge in the case was married to somebody connected to RCA Records. I think it was RCA, the label that Dr. Lucas signed with. I think that was a real conflict of interest there, and I don't know if that was ever addressed. I thought that was really, really shady. So that conflict of interest definitely played into my mind when I was thinking about this as a whole, and I absolutely believe that Kesha was telling the truth. As a result of the years of controversy surrounding Dr. Luke and this court case, many artists kind of blacklisted him and refused to work with him. He used to be such a famous, prolific producer. He worked and produced for so many people, and all of a sudden, nobody wanted to touch him. And if they did, the gays were really hard on calling them out on social media and did not take lightly to these collaborations. Fast forward a few years and we see the emergence of a brand new pop starlet, Kim Petras. Kim Petras is a young bubblegum pop star. I think she's got a lot of potential. I think she's super cool. Her music style is so bubblegum pop. Her aesthetic is great. She loves crystals, pink, she loves Halloween. She's very me. So on paper, I should stan. I have stand. I have loved her. However, it has been brought to my attention that almost every single one of Kim Petras' songs, singles, almost all of her albums have been collaborations with Dr. Luke. Whilst it's nice to try and support an up-and-coming trans artist, I don't think it's fair to do this at the cost of selectively forgetting the abuse Kesha went through during her time working with Dr. Luke. Back in April 2018, this topic came up in an interview with Kim Petras, and I think it was NME, and she had this to say: "I would like my fans to know that I wouldn't work with somebody I believe to be an abuser of women. Definitely not." Straight away, this statement more or less says that Kim is calling Kesha a liar. She is saying that she would never work with somebody who abused women, and yet she is standing by working with Dr. Luke. Therefore, she is saying she does not believe Dr. Luke abuses women. Therefore, she is saying Kesha lies about everything in her court case. Now, this did kind of piss off a lot of people, but I feel like not as many people as it should have done. However, it would seem that Kim did kind of catch wind of this, because when she was added to Troye Sivan's Bloom Tour as a support act, she responded to some of this backlash on Instagram. She said, Most people have been really supportive and positive about my joining the Troye Sivan tour, however some have not. I want to share with you what's in my heart. While I've been open and honest about my positive experience with Dr. Luke, that does not negate or dismiss the experience of others or suggest that multiple perspectives cannot exist at once. I didn't communicate this clearly in the past. After seeing some people's reaction to the news of my support on the Bloom tour, I've learned about the effect of some of my past comments. I want to say that I'm sorry to anyone that I upset. She went on to say on Twitter that I do want to express my sympathy for any and all abuse victims. Now, whilst on the surface this might seem like a step in the right direction, it is kind of bullshit. She's basically saying, well, maybe Dr. Luke's abused other people, but he's not abused me, so I'm going to carry on working with him. I think there might be a bit more to this than it would seem at first, but I just want to touch on Troye Sivan's reaction to all of this, because he remained silent throughout most of this until it started to bubble up a little bit more in the LGBT community and he was forced to respond on, I believe it was Instagram. He said this: "For transparency, I was not aware of some of the comments Kim has made in the past. That was my mistake. Since I've read them, I was troubled by them, like you. The opinions communicated in these interviews don't align with my personal values or the values of the tour. I waited a few days to sit with these comments, talk to Kim, read what you guys had to say and think about how I felt. My conversations with Kim and her statement yesterday showed me where her heart is and that she is growing and changing just like the rest of us. Her statement was genuine, apologetic, and clarified her position in a way that eased me. People mess up, people misspeak. I've always said that it's how you grow and learn from your mistakes that truly matters, and I want to treat Kim the same way I'd like to be treated when my inevitable big mess comes." It's almost as if Troye hadn't read the statement whatsoever, was just assuming that it was going to be something that would explain everything and would be a suitable apology for her previous comments. That is probably what his management had told him she was going to do, and yet, to me and to many others, she really didn't step up enough, and her statement regarding all of this was not good enough. I think, therefore, Troye trying to tell everybody she apologized, everything's fine, is kind of bullshit, because he's just supporting a bullshit statement with another one. I was hoping that after all of this, Kim would take a step back and try and put this behind her and start working with other producers. So I was very surprised and disappointed to see that with the release of her Halloween EP, Turn Off the Lights, the entire record is produced by Dr. Luke. It's like she hasn't learned anything. I can't see any way to excuse this now. I think this would have been the perfect opportunity to just draw a line in the sand, put her collaborations with them behind her, and move forward with new producers. Because I love her vision, I love her aesthetic, I love her voice. I think this is a pop star I could really get behind, but I cannot keep excusing all of this nonsense with an accused sexual abuser, with somebody who has tried to destroy a woman's life. And yet there seem to be so many people within her fan base, within the LGBT community, who are either happy to ignore this, happy to look past the fact that she's working with somebody who sexually abused another female artist, and are saying, no, we have to support a trans artist, we have to stand behind this new up-and-coming trans artist. And whilst I understand the will and the wanting to do such a thing, I don't think you are able to whilst all of the shit with Dr. Luke is still happening. I've seen some people try and defend her actions by saying that Kim signed with Dr. Luke prior to all of this with Kesha becoming public knowledge, and that her contract states that she has to work with him for X amount of years, X amount of records, and that she is tied into this contract, and no matter what her feelings are about him, she has to deliver on this contract, and she cannot cut ties with him until the agreements of the contract are fulfilled. This is quite a likely assumption to make. I feel like this would explain a lot. I feel like this would explain why she's having to be quite vague about him, because I'm sure there'd be a clause about not being able to badmouth him. This would explain why she keeps churning out song after song with him. However, it is just an assumption, and unfortunately it's not something I think we're ever going to know for sure. There are no receipts for this. I don't believe she would ever be able to talk about this as a topic. And whilst it may be the case, is it right for us to just assume so? Because what if it's not the case? What if she is that ignorant and she's just continuing to work with him because he's making her good music and he's busy building her up as an artist? And what if she doesn't care about Kesha's accusations? These are two strong possibilities. She might be trapped in this contract or just completely ignorant and selfish. I would love to hear what you guys think about this topic as a whole. If you can find any kind of evidence that supports the fact that she's tied into a contract at the moment and has to deliver on that and therefore can't speak her mind about anything negative regarding to Dr. Luke, please let me know. Please point me in the right direction, because I would feel so much better about her as an artist. I would have so much more respect for her integrity as an artist if this was the case, because she is young, everybody makes mistakes. I can see the temptation to sign a contract with such a renowned artist. Maybe she did do this before all of this came out. I would love that to be true. However, if this is not the case, then I'm afraid this is not an artist we should be supporting. We should not be supporting people who rise to success at the cost of bringing other people down. This is not cool. Please don't forget about Kesha. Please don't forget about the struggles that Kesha went through. We have to support victims of abuse. Okay, you guys. This was my rant on Kim Petras, Kesha and Dr. Luke. I hope you found it interesting. I would love to hear your thoughts about this, like I said, so please do comment down below. I've seen some strong opinions either side on Twitter, but I want to know what our viewers think about it. Do you think that we should just ignore all of this and support Kim Petras as an up-and-coming trans pop star, or do you think she should be held accountable for her ignorance slash selfishness slash naivety towards the fact that her producer is an accused sexual abuser? I'm going to be doing a more varied episode next time, so also please let me know on Twitter or in the comments if there's any other topics that you'd like to see covered in a future episode. But that is it for this week. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye! Lots of love as well to our brand new cult priest, Roy Cunningham.